Peoples of the planet! I don't even know how to stream anymore. How are you guys doing? How is the planet going? Is anything I need to know? Because I don't know anymore. It feels like so long to me right now. Dude, let me say hello to everybody. Jesus, man. KDO, Greenbone, welcome. Mr. Syrian, welcome to the stream, my man. What else got here? Mo Heatmax, welcome, my friend. Let me start opening up Unity. I did upgrade Unity to patch 5. I did that. But let's see if I remember how to stream to the planet. Oh boy, it feels so long ago. It feels so long ago, guys, that it's so weird. Like, because, you know, you're used to stream like every day. You know, nothing super exciting happened to me this weekend. Did you guys do something nice this weekend? I didn't do anything, just relaxing and you know, enjoying the weekend very much. I'm getting so tired now during the week working that weekends I don't want to do anything in the weekends. I was in the computer for a little bit this weekend because I was working in a website, so I had to do that. Yeah, so I did that, but pretty much besides that, that's pretty much, I was, you know, how long I was in the computer just to work in that website. And besides that, it's just like relaxing. And Heatmax, I got your link, man. Let me see here. Twitch 375, dude. Welcome to the stream, man. Let me see here. We missed you? Oh man, you have no idea, dude. When was the day I couldn't stream? Because I think it was it Friday that, no, it was Thursday. I could not stream, right? And then I streamed Friday. I streamed longer on Friday. It was like a 5-hour stream. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I did not stream. And then I'm back today. Yeah, but it's so weird, man. I miss you guys too, but sometimes I get from work. What is it? Oh, look at that AC right there. Now you're talking. Let me, did you do this, Mohit Max? It looks good, man. The props and everything. The chair looks nice. I like it. Did you do it, man? Did you do it yourself? Nice, dude. That's looking pretty good. What I was going to do here? Oh, I just opened these for the website, right? Yeah, that looks really good, man. Just throw some textures in there. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let me see here if I remember. If I remember, our pain, our latest pain in the game was related with the network inventory, right? It was kind of like, I was thinking to refactor it. So, and I did this. You guys pushed me to do it. So we end up doing that. Is my microphone? I think my microphone was this way. Dude. Refactor, yeah. I'm not good in lighting. Oh man. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. So I did upgrade it. I don't know if you guys see it. I think you were able to see it. Now we are 2017 P5. I don't know if that's gonna help with anything related with the crashes, but you know, Maybe. So the entire thing here is this network inventory thing. And I think the I love refactoring. KDO, I've been fixing bugs in refactoring, not kidding. For what? You guys that are watching, I am doing for a good 3 months every day on the stream fixing bugs and refactoring, right? I didn't add one new thing for the last 3 months as far as I can remember. There is no new functionality at all. It's kind of like, you know, the only thing that I think, yeah, the login, but that's not new functionality. That's just, yeah. And I'm glad you guys pushed me to do that because that makes my life easier. But that's not really new functionality per se. It was just like, you know, something that will make life easier, like you said, but okay. And the problem, what I was saying is, I believe that the problem is in, where is that guy? Network Inventory Manager, this guy here, right? If we go, one of the issues that we were having was related with the events. See, this is when you start. I need to turn on the AC, guys. I'm sorry. It's gonna be a little bit noisy for a while, but is the events. And what was happening was the server. So the server, the campfire was on and was creating items in a campfire. So let's say if we had wood in a campfire, that wood would burn, generate charcoal, and create in a campfire. But the problem is, we were listening for the addition of items to the inventory event, right? So when we add an item to the inventory, we fire the event. The manager was listening for it. The manager would say, okay, let me go to the server and send this information to the clients. When the clients would get that, internally, the client would fire add item to the inventory, and that will trigger again a request to the server to add the item. The server will do it again to the client. So it was like a recursion network, right? Recursive network. I want to see if you guys can do that. Oh yeah. So that was the biggest issue. Inventory item added, inventory item removed. So I think these two here are fine. And updated. I remember having an issue with this. Let me double check here in the network inventory. Because I should, if I did everything the way that I wanted and I didn't forget anything, I should have an event that says add item to the inventory. That will trigger the addition. And after that point, we would call item added. Like after we add it, the inventory sends a message to anyone interested and say, hey, this item was just added here, right? Even though that we have two different events, we still probably need our Boolean, because the manager will be listening to add or eaten added, you know, the addition or after the addition. And when the manager fired that event, we need a Boolean to say, hey, you don't need to fire the event anymore. So when we send the request, the response It's kind of weird, right? But it's not a response. But when we send the message to the clients, we need to say, hey, add this item, but you don't need to fire the event, right? But then you need to remember, if there's anyone that's listening for that event, it could break, right? Because the server is saying, hey, add this item, but don't fire the event, right? And then if there is anyone interested in that event, that would break that piece of code, because that piece of code say, I didn't receive the event, so to me the item is not there, right? So I think I see GPU encoding issue again. Really? How it happens that some days it's good and some days you see that? How that is possible? Is it still doing that, KDO, for you? The flickering, I cannot say that word. Flickering. It's so hard. So how am I gonna handle this, right? This is a very interesting issue now. I know that to fix the bug, occasionally, well, let me know. If it's too bad, then I go back. That happens to me every stream. Like, the image is really good and then it like blinks like bad, and then yeah, but it shouldn't. Like the past streams I was using CPU encoding, and that should not do it at all. It only does it when I do GPU encoding, right? Unless if you're talking last week I think I was using GPU encoding. And I noticed that you can see a lot when I have the screen on the editor, and the editor is not moving at all. If I start like moving, you don't see as much. At least I noticed that. One way, now that I'm thinking here, guys, because I'm thinking some things here, would be, yeah, but that again, because here in the manager, so let's go through this on inventory, network handler, blah blah blah, goes to the client. Let's see if I can find the update here. So here the update. So the server fired the event, add this item. The server goes here, does the server thing, and send that message to the clients, right? And when we go to the client say, okay, the server is sending an item update here. Let's create that item. And let's update the item here. So what I'm doing here, I'm not actually firing the event to update the item. I'm just, from the inventory itself, I'm calling the method, right? And I'm calling the method here. So one issue could arrive in here. Let me go to this method here. Go to implementation right here. So we check to see if the inventory does not have that item. That's the first thing. And see that now we are sending a boolean here, fire event, right? And if we are sending the boolean, this would be fired. So if we go back to our manager here, this boolean here is false. So we are telling the whoever gets that update, wherever inventory gets that update, does not fire this thing. So we need to be aware that this could break things, like, or at least we need to keep in mind that these events, they could be triggered and they couldn't be triggered. So we cannot rely on them 100% to do things, right? And this is one of the things when writing code that I really don't like. I don't like the exception to the rule, because this boolean here makes the exception to the rule. This code should always run the same way, always, right? And now we are adding a boolean that say, oh, you know, if you have the boolean, do that. If you don't have the boolean, don't. And this creates huge problems. Right now, it's fine because we know what we are doing. But 6 months from now, I don't like this. I really don't. Why do we need namespace under namespace? You don't, Hitmax, you don't need nested namespaces. It's more, well, depend what you're doing, right? Depend what you're doing, because, but mainly the idea, like when you're learning, mainly would be to organize your code. But then it's different if you're working, if you're releasing an API that's gonna be used by other people, right? You would be organizing and you would be sure that you have no class colliding with other classes. So a class that inside namespace A could be, you know, class Hitmax. And I could have another namespace B, and that namespace could have the same class called Hitmax, and they would not be colliding because they are in different namespaces, right? So if you're working with APIs and providing that thing, you want to put your classes inside namespaces so you make them unique. Another thing is, depend how you're compiling your thing. Are you, all that's going to be in the same assembly? Like there's things related with that, right? That you could have different DLLs. It gets a little bit more not complicated, but it gets a little bit more you need to start thinking more about those things if you are working with like different assemblies. Like, can code be injected to this assembly, or this assembly gonna be locked down, or whatever you're gonna do, right? So that's how you or why you would be using namespaces. But you don't really to like for Unity, I could completely remove every namespace from my game and it still would work. If anything, maybe I would have to change 2 or 3 classes because they are the same name, but they are just in different namespaces. But for Unity, in like in a general way, you don't need to. But it's kind of nice to have. And one nice thing about it is that maybe I can Google that. How is it called? Unity3D assembly definition. I think this is what Unity is coming. Yeah, so with 2017.3 we are going, because you know that if I go to my code here, let's say I'm gonna change one line here, I'm gonna save, okay, and then I go back to my code. See, that takes a long time just because I did one little change in that line. Look how long that takes to compile, right? Because Unity, it needs to compile every script inside your game every time you make a change, because it's the same assembly. Everybody goes to the same DLL. So what Unity is coming up with that I don't know why they didn't had this before is assembly definition. And what this will do, if you have different namespaces, you can put those namespaces in separate assemblies, right? I'm not sure, maybe KDO knows more about it. I don't know if you really need to have different namespaces to have different assemblies, but that kind of makes sense if you make, you know, a namespace and then put that inside an assembly. So let's say you're working in your UI classes and you're done with your UI, you're not working on it. Like right now at this moment, we are working with network inventories. Everything else in the game, we don't need to be recompiling that. We just want to be recompiling the wherever is the code related with the network, inventory network, right? So with Unity 2017.3, you're going to be able to separate them in different assemblies. So when you're working one piece of the code, all the other assemblies, they don't need to be recompiled anymore because they are part of a different assembly. And that will be super, super useful. I may jump into 2017.3 just because of that, but I'm not really using the beta now because it was really, really buggy to me. It was like I was going, if I just look to the editor, it would crash, right? It's the same idea, the plugins and standard asset folders. Exactly. I don't know why they didn't do this before, right? Well, I guess they had other things to worry about, but this is going to be huge when they put this out, because like huge games, imagine like you have like a huge game, like yes, you could create DLLs yourself, right? You could maybe create as a plugin. This is kind of like I see how KDO does it normally. He has his game and then he creates a plugin in a different project, and then when he's done with the plugin, he put in at least this is how I see. I don't know if you really do that way, KDO, but this is what I noticed. You do a little project with just that plugin. When you're done, you put in your project, right? And I have everything in my project, and when I'm adding something new, I add into my project, right? So this is going to be super, super handy. Let me copy this URL for you guys if you guys want to check it out. Let me copy this. There we go. I like to do a plugin to this compiler. So see, yeah, this is the workaround that you found, so you don't need to wait for the compilation, right? So people find these workarounds like, oh, I'm gonna create a plugin. When I'm done, I put in the main project. I don't know, maybe this is one of the reasons that people don't do big projects or big games with Unity, you know, because you need to have all these workarounds, but the engine is getting pretty good. Lilybite, welcome to the stream. The engine is getting like, you know, better and better. So, you know, maybe one day. So yeah, this is kind of make me a little bit like have a nightmare. It's a little nightmare, but right, this thing here, and I was even thinking now that I could create another class of inventory, or maybe an extension, and that extension will be only used for the network to do this type of things. and then it would have its own events. So network add, network remove, right? But I need to think about it. I need to think about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something noob. Because I want to make this 100% automatic, right? As soon as you drop this script in the object, it would work, and this is how it is right now. It would work as a network inventory. You don't need to do anything to it. It just works automatically, right? It gets its own ID, it syncs with the server, so that type of thing. So you just drop the script and you're done. But we have this little issue now. At least we are having with the update. I don't think we are having with the add. Item update. Let me add a debug here, because if we get the issue, I want to see if it's happening. So let me do inventory toggle and let's do this one here. This would be handler, and this will be update. And I could even separate, because I'm using this event network handler here, and I'm sending a CRUD. Go to definition, and this CRUD is more a web lingo. Unity3D Game Dev, welcome to the stream. CRUD is more like a web development lingo that comes from create, retrieve, update, and delete. So it's like the four main things that you do with your data, or your objects in this case. So what I was doing here was, do I have sound for my things? Probably not. Now I remember to put it up. What I was doing with that handler, when I would send the message, I would check for the OP type. That's the operation type, right? So is this an addition? Is this a removal, right? So it looks like I only added addition and removal. And for some reason, I did the update separate. And I still didn't make my mind yet which way should I go about it. Should I have different messages for the CRUD that we are doing? Should I just do this way? I am leaning towards of having every operation its own method and its own message, right? That's more like the principle. Instead of having one method that deals with everyone, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about these things? Huh? That don't let me sleep at night. Okay, let me turn on that campfire and see what happens. One method, one task. Exactly. That's kind of like, that's how I grow up with Linux, right? Do one thing and do that well. Split them up. Yeah. Yep. That's why one of the reasons I think I started doing this, right? I know nothing. I know nothing, Jodes. No. And I didn't know Do you know that Jon Snow from Game of Thrones actually is dating that girl in real life? I didn't know that. Just told me the other day. Oh, they are together. And I say, no way. I say, yep, they are. Yeah, this is kind of like nice, you know, but, well, not nice, but it saves you to create methods and different network messages, right? Because literally the message you did, yeah, I didn't know. Literally the messages will be very, very similar. Maybe we could use the same message, call the method, knowing that the items incoming in there would be updating, adding. So we probably can use the same message, different methods. I guess we're gonna do that. I guess this is what we're gonna do. Let's play this shalala. Shalala. I don't know how you guys in Portuguese we say shalala. It's kind of like you when you guys say shenanigans, right? It's kind of like shalala in Portuguese. Let's turn on the campfire and see what happens. But I think that we're gonna go back, guys, and we are flying like Superman here. Wonder Woman. Let's add the env here and see what happens. Don't say it, sing it. Yeah. The only show gossip I know is Glee. Oh, I saw that one, but I never watched though. Where real life couple. Oh no, wait, really? Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know. But Game of Thrones, like, I think Game of Thrones is one of the most watched shows, right? It's very, very difficult to me to talk with someone and they may not be watching, but at some point they watch one season or whatever, right? It's really difficult to say, oh, do you know Game of Thrones? And the person say, no, I never heard about it. That never happened to me. Never happened. Okay, let me give myself some stuff here. Let's do wood. Resource wood. Yep. Okay, let's see what happens here. So, looks like that we received the update when the item stacks, right? So then we keep that. We keep the update. We don't really need the stack because that automatically would trigger an update, right? So that's fine. If I add an item here, inventory update, was that me or just happens that I dragged that? Yeah, it's actually adding that. Okay. And if I remove, the remove is not being called, so we need to add that. So let's just start cranking that thing open. Oh boy. There is something for everyone in that show. Exactly. Exactly, because the dead, it's pretty much like the dead army, wherever. The White Walkers or something. That's kind of like zombies, right? And now, I don't know if you guys watched it, but okay, if you don't want to know, mute me right now for the next 20 seconds. If you didn't watch the last season. Mute now. Okay. And now they have a dragon. That's gonna be crazy, right? So you have those people that they are kind of like zombies, and they have giants, and now they have the dragon. I didn't. Well, I told you to mute it, right? And exactly, they have a little bit for everyone, you know. Muted forever. Oh boy. I told you to mute. I told ya. You curious? You guys didn't watch the last season yet? I don't even watch single episode. Oh, you did mute? Okay. Okay, let me see here. And we need to finish this tonight. Just to let you guys know. Event handlers. On remove the stack item event, we don't need this. Right? Two references. Where's my public method? I was thinking to remove it, but even if I remove it, we are not getting an error here in the... So the toggle, we still need it. Update, we still need it. How is this stacking being called? Is it in the event? On inventory stack event. Yeah, we are calling right here. Oh, when we stack, we are calling add. That's no bueno. That's no bueno. Z, good fellas. Sonan, my friend. Just now got a notification you went live. Oh wow. One of the most emotional TV episodes I ever saw. With the real feels, yeah. Black screen. Okay, let me... On items stacked. Items stacked. Am I getting that? Items stacked. Yes, I am. The Yag, my man. Welcome to the stream. I hate God. Greenbone hate is a really strong word. I try not to use that word because if I say that word, it's because I really, really, really like... I would like to see out of the face of the planet. If I said that, if I use that word. Right? So like that is something that I really don't want to even look at. Like I don't want it in my planet. I would use that word. But if I have nothing against it, I would just say like I don't like it. I'm fine with being there and I'm fine with being people watching it. I just don't like it, right? But if I say I hate it, then it would bother me. That's there, right? At least that's the translation that my brain does it, right? When I hear someone saying I hate it, I feel that they don't like it, and besides the fact that they don't like it, bothers them really bad. The operator in C++. Yeah, some things like that I would imagine that people will hate it and say like, I don't want it. I didn't even want this to exist to begin with, right? Okay, so we are removing the stacking. Okay, let's go back in there and see what happens now. Several hours misery. I'm good, Yag. I'm good, man. How are you doing? What did you do this weekend, by the way? Anything that I should know? In a field of Legos? Oh boy. That hurts. And I just remember there is 2 other things we need to do very badly barefoot in this game. So let's see if we're gonna get the charcoal in there. Yeah, we are getting the charcoal. Let me add this. Okay. That is still works. If I split this here, works. If I go here, put in there, and if I split, still works. If I close, open. Okay, so far so good. Trying to get used to the new schedule of getting up early to get in college. Yeah, man. Thanks for watching. And I was not streaming for the last 4 days. I'm sorry, guys. I hate Unity Workshop. Manufacture razor sharp operators, comma operators. Dude. I know, even though there is a lot of things that bothers me in C++, I don't really hate them, right? But I don't know if there is one thing that I would hate. Probably it is. But then that would go more towards like stuff like indifference, that type of thing. I would say I hate that, right? Okay, let me see here. Add, remove, update. Internet. A hard moding reboot. So we need this. We need the add. And we need to the remove. So on inventory manager. So let me separate this. This is the registration of inventories with the manager. And these are related with the items, right? Workshop in India, 2,000 kilometers away. 2,000 kilometers would be like 16 hours drive, something like that. If you're driving 80 kilometers an hour, would be like 15, 16 hours drive. I mean, if you're driving today, yeah, if you're driving like 50 miles, 60 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, I think would be. Math and things. Add event, remove, and update. Okay, so we are good with those. Now, what we need to change is this. You guys don't know how much I am feeling right now to delete everything, but I don't want to do that. Right? Let me remove that. Looks like that's not being used. Network handler. I grew up with the metric system. Yeah, me too. I don't need to calculate. Well, I do need to calculate, but it's way easier to calculate that than if I had fractions. At least, I think. Update it. Best thing ever. So this is the guy that we need to change. Update. Toggle, we keep that. Let's do that. Private. Void. Let's call on inventory item. Let's do remove item. And I have so hard to me to make these names. Network message, net message. So on remove item, let's kind of make this in order. And right here, let's do the addition before. So it will be addition, update, and removal. On inventory, add item. Right? The imperial measuring. And yeah, do you guys drive in the do you guys have the cars with the in the right side? I think that would be so weird. Like if you have like manual shift, you need to do with your left hand. That feels weird. And your feet will be backward, right? Because the gas will be in the left and the brake would be in your right foot. That's weird. But I guess if you grow up with it, you would be used to it, right? Let's do this. Actually, let's take a look in this message here. And then let's create a new one only with the things that we need. So create, copy this. And we're gonna call network inventory item OP for item operation. And we don't need the CRUD anymore, because if this message gets to the right method, if it gets to the remove, we know that we are removing, right? Left side steering wheel all day. Not if all, if you know. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Syrian. It's the same thing with the empirical system, right? If you grow up with it, you don't calculate. If I tell you, oh, the thing is like 3 feet, you just know, you know, how much 3 feet is. It's the same thing if you tell me, oh, that thing is 57 centimeters. I already know that's gonna be something like this big, right? I don't calculate, I just have an idea how big it is. If you grow up with it, you just know. You don't calculate. To me, it's different because if you say, oh, that's like, you know, 8 feet, I need to actually translate the 8 feet to centimeters. I need to do the calculation, and then I get an idea how big that would be in centimeters. But if you know, you just know. Default. Welcome to the stream, my man. Playing GTA is dangerous. I bet it is. Okay, let me double check this message here. Inventory ID. Find object. Why do I have that boolean? Feet I can understand, meters I have to calculate a bit, yeah. If you grow up with it, you know, wherever you grow, is the same thing with the language. If English is your first language, you don't think about it when you're talking, you just talk, right? To me, it's difficult because I need to go and grab wherever I want to say in Portuguese, try translate what I'm trying to say to English, and hopefully that makes sense, because even the words, even though you're translating, the words, they have different weights depending how you use them. And even in English, you have some words that they would make sense in one word, but if I just say it like pure translation, that would not work out. That's why we had really terrible translation online a while ago, because it was literally just grabbing word by word and translating, and sometimes you say, what, that doesn't make any sense. Now we have the translation that kind of uses AI, so they put the sentence that you're trying to translate in context to actually give you something that makes more sense, right? But a while ago it was just like word by word. So yeah, even with anything that you grow up used to, you know, you just know, you don't think about it. Serialize. It's because scientists USA use metric. Yeah, it's Nerdy 80D. Welcome to the stream. Well, the USA, little by little, it's going to metric, right? Because a lot of like even like bottle of things, now they are in like liters and milliliter liters, right? So little thing here and there, they are changing it. Of course, that the generation that grow up with it will get upset, but if you were born now and you're getting used to it, like 1 or 2 generations from now, it's just gonna be normal for them, right? Dr. Argus, welcome to the stream, man. But USA, I feel that they are like little by little, they are changing it. Not changing it, they start using it. Yeah. So maybe like 1 or 2 generations from now is just gonna be normal, you know? Because I get it, you know, if you grow up used to it and people are trying to change, you would get upset and say like, oh, you're trying to change the thing that I grow up with. It's kind of like it's what makes you. Whatever you grow up with is what makes you, right? And that is one of the things that really upsets people, when something that makes them what they are, you're saying that's wrong or I don't like that. That's kind of like personally, like, so It's little like, oh, you don't like me, right? That type of thing. So things that make who you are, if someone tells you that that's wrong, normally you would get people upset really easy. It's the same thing with like soccer in Brazil, right? That's kind of like, it's what makes you a Brazilian per se. It's your football team. And if someone doesn't like your football team, it's like, so you don't like me personally because this is who I am, right? Looks like you have a happy childhood. Yeah, then city is not that happy, but it was good. It was good, man. I didn't it was happy. It was difficult, but uh you know, was happy but it was difficult. Wasn't easy. But I guess that makes me who I am right now. Spell check. I'm thinking, why do I need this find object? Am I even using that for something? That looks silly. See, that's the things that I'm talking about. That's the exception to the rule. And that was a boolean that I added. And now I don't remember why I was using it. So see the problem? See the problemo? Resource item. And there's no notes in here. C# will get you a Windows job or a gaming and Unity job. Yeah, C# right now. I don't know if you're gonna get a job, but they are very, very, there's a lot of people using them. On inventory update item. So if find object, we do that. Why did I add that? Because this kind of defeats the purpose. If find object, see, this is like some of the things that I don't like to do, because now I don't remember why I add that in there. What was the edge case in that thing that I had to use that, right? Now I don't know. Now I just keep in there because I'm gonna break something. And that's the same exact thing that I was telling you guys about this fire event here. This is an edge case. And then 6 months from now, I may not remember that I was adding this because it was causing the network loop thing, right? And say, oh yeah, fire event, of course I want to fire the event. That kind of drives me insane. So let's remove this from here for now until we find the bug again, and then I will understand why I add that variable in there. Just go for Java. Well, Java, I don't know how Java is now. It was used a lot a while ago. Let me see. Top 10 2017. I can bet you that C# is in this list. Java probably would be there. So yeah, Python. Really? The first language is Python and C? Java, C++, and then C#? Man, I got in my mind PHP, JavaScript, and C# would be on top of the list. Ray Style, my man. Welcome to the stream. How you doing, dude? Nice to see ya. Why Python? I have no idea. Python is a good language though. Python is good. Python is good, but I never thought that Python will be top 1 in the list. Right? I would really think that PHP, JavaScript, and C#, even Ruby, I would think that will be the top 10. Let's see this other one here. So this one starts with Java, and then Python, and then PHP, JavaScript. That's kind of like more what I was thinking. PHP, JavaScript, C. That's so weird that C is on even before C++. Ruby, there we go. C#, Swift, and Go. Huh. So in this website, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So C# is in 8th place. That survey of readers of that blog. Yeah. Software that I don't know why anyone uses C when you can basically, well, I think today's day it's kind of like a mashup with C and C++ because for to work with this type of thing, if you're working with electronics and you're creating firmware, some libraries from C++, there's no way you can use it because they don't fit in the device. They don't fit here in the memory, right? So you need to go with pure C to write this type of thing, right? So, like, yeah, like these little thingamajiggers in here, right? You need, like, it's bare bones. You need to be careful with the size of your strings, because if you want to do a message that you need to save a string in that thing, you need to think about it before you put that string in there, because that's gonna eat all your memory. So that's why we have like 404 error, 500 error, because instead of typing out page was not found, you would just, the error will be 404, the error will be 500. That doesn't use a lot of memory. It's just an integer that's like bam right there, just a little integer. And then whoever is getting that error will say, okay, oh, I'm getting a 404, so let me, now I'm gonna print page not found. But you would not make that, you would not put the string in the device, right? That's why we have error codes, right? And but Cameron TV, welcome to the stream, my man. Can hold one, exactly, yeah. Jesus. Faster than C++. Yeah. She's that. Yeah, man. I remember you need to save every little piece of data. So I imagine, but I didn't know that people were using C that much, right? It's good, Raystel. It's good, man. And now we are literally working. I'm kind of like talking a lot tonight, but I'm trying to refactor the inventory, the network inventories. I can show for you guys the game really quick. It didn't had a lot of changes visually, right? But it's the same like campfire, and hopefully I didn't have anything broken now. Let me see. We are still doing the campfire thing. MATLAB or LabVIEW to do harder? No, I never tried that one. Forgot how to do the bot stuff. Let me log in. Right now I'm looking for a new engine for my game. Which type of game are you going to build, Cameron TV? So this is pretty much what we are working on, guys. This inventory here, trying to refactor it to make it better, because I was just like throwing code at it just to make it work, and now it's kind of like, now the little bugs, the bugs start creeping in, because, you know, so we are just trying to go back to the drawing board here and make it better. Zen, I think I heard, let me see, but what type of game are you going for? Like, it would be like a 2D game, a 3D game? Oh, I was confused with the name. I thought that was that engine. What's that engine that has a name that's similar to this? Free online RPG? Yeah, I never heard about this game before though. I can't believe I'd see it on any stream. Oh, now you saw it. Now you saw it, man. Let me see. We need that object ID. Item class name, we need that. Serialized data, we need that. This is public, but it should be private. Can I make this private? Because I have the property here. I don't know if I'm accessing it directly, but serialized data, pass the data, blah, blah, blah. Failed to serialize item data. Type, let's add the type here. And data dot type dot value. And let's do the item name here. Data dot name, item name. Where's our music? It ended. Okay, so this is the message that we want to use. here. That's the message. So let's use this. Use that in there. And then the first thing we do is this. Guess I can copy this because we're gonna be using this, I believe. If go else. Let's do that, and in the client here. We do this. And then the client, it's a little bit different. Pretty much the same thing, but we call client scene instead. Instead of, in the client, we do client scene find, and in the server side, we do network find, right? So, remove that. I'm trying to do some mobile games. I would use Unreal 4, but it's so crazy. Unoptimized. Not the engine. Yeah, I saw some weird bugs on Unreal though, but they probably have really, really well optimized engine though. Enlarge the font? Yeah, I can. It's hard for you guys to see it. Is that better? So I can do. No, I'm not. Okay. Okay, let me keep going here, guys. I was trying to catch up in the chat. Else. Oh, this is... Let me know if this is better. I'm gonna do 130. Is 130 helps anything? 140. This is 140. Let me know if 140, Dartian, if that's good. Otherwise, I go back to 150 because 150, it's like I can see really little of my code. Yeah, no problems here. Like, if you guys are watching and the font is too small, please let me know that it's small, because this is one of the things that bother me a lot when I'm trying to watch a stream and I cannot read the code, right? And normally when I'm watching, I cast it to my TV, so I'm literally like 4 or 5 feet away from the TV. And if you had a small font, I cannot read it. So please let me know if the font's too small for you guys. I can make it bigger. "41 years young? I am almost 30. Dude, you're young. Okay. So let me go back here. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking to you guys all night long. Let me go back to my code here. Not that I don't want to talk with you guys, but I need to finish this tonight. Hopefully. Dr. Agus 47. 17. Well, I'm 38. So, okay. And this, we can literally copy. Actually, let's add one more thing. This one right here. Copy. And let's add this here. Bam. Bam chakalaka. Right there. And then on remove, we're going to be using the same thing. Right? So let's do debug.log. Let's add our filter here, env, and let's do server item. And right here, we don't need to scream here. Remove item. And then here we do client, right? And then right here, server add, and then here we do client add item. How is 38? I will be 38 in a couple of dates. I'm nervous, dude. To me, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Sometimes I even think about it when I was little. You know, when you're a little kid and you look it up like older people, and then you say, oh my God, they are like adults, right? Dude, I still have the same brain and I still like the same things that I would like when I was a teenager. That's weird to me, because I thought that when you'd become an adult, you would change, but that don't really happens. Like, you still like the same things. You like, I guess the only thing that you get with age is more experience. It's more patience, being more understandable of people, you know, that type of thing, being more respectful, right? I think you get that with the age. But the things that you like when you're young, it's still the same thing. Like, if I could, I would be skateboarding, you know. I would, like, I had my green hair, I would have my green hair, right? I just don't have it now because I need to work. But all those, like, the same music, I still like the same genre of music that I used to like when I was young. It didn't change. Let me remove this from here. You still have green hair, don't lie. I don't have anymore, dude. I don't. Server. Let's keep the same kind of thing going on here. And this will be update. And this would be client update. So it's breaking all the members' allocations. Problem is that the people around are changing. People are expecting you to do things that they were not used to. Yeah, the thing is, with people's expectations, I'm kind of like this. I don't know if it was because I grown in a different country with a different culture, but I respect people's opinions. I try, even if what you like or if you do goes completely different from what I do or what I think, if you try to speak to me, I would listen to you, because I see this way. If you like that, or if you do something different than the way that I do, maybe you have information that I don't have, right? Maybe you have an experience that I don't have. That's why you like that, or that's why you write code different, or wherever you're doing different than I'm doing. Maybe you have some information about that thing you're doing that I don't have. And maybe things that I do different than you, maybe I do that because I have some experiences that you don't have, and maybe you're not gonna understand until you go through those experiences, right? But even sometimes if I don't agree, I try to be respectful and I try to understand. But related with what people expect from you, I just try to do my best to do wherever I think that's right, right? But I don't, I know that at least in some places or some groups of people, they really give importance to what brand of clothes you're wearing or which car you're driving. To me, it means nothing. Like, a car is just something that takes me from point A to point B, right? That's it. I can drive any car if the car is gonna take me to those places. But I know that some people, they would look at you and say, "Look, Jeff is driving that car." For those type of things, I really don't care what are their expectations. I know what I need, I know what I'm doing. It doesn't bother me, right? That type of thing. But, and this is kind of like how I deal with it, right? I don't let bother me. I just do whatever I think. I try to do the best, and, you know, and be respectful and that type of thing. But level 1, Kia Real. Oh boy. Yeah. And animation is just a cartoon. Is that, well, that goes with a lot of things, like how you're brought up, the experiences you have, right? It changes. It's the same thing. People say, like, oh, games are like violent. Some people say, oh, games are not violent. Games make you violent. Games don't make you violent. People, like, you know, they have different experiences. They have, their brain is wired in one way, and when they look at it, they feel that way, right? Sincerely, some people would see and say, like, oh, that's violent. Some people that grow up playing games and this and that will look like, what are you talking about, right? So it depends on your experience. You just need to respect. But, you know, I probably would not stop playing a game because someone say, oh, Jeff is playing that game that's super violent. It's violent, but in your perception, right? But you just need to be, depending the person, let's say if your mom or dad or whatever, of course you need to respect. But other than that, client update item, server update item, game bugs make you violent. I agree with that one. Oh yeah. Oh, you guys almost defeated Playcraft. Oh, he's coming back up. Okay, so now we need to remove, what was the event? It's not the event, it's the handler. So this big one here. Now we're gonna break things for sure. So we're gonna break this one. Yeah, Mr. Syrian. Got to be the boss. See, this was a huge... Yeah. This was a huge mess. And we want to clean it. So remove the spaces so I can, you know, collapse this. Otherwise it collapse all weirdo. But yeah, I don't really, I know that sounds like rude, but I don't really care what people's expectations are about what I'm doing. Of course I do care, but I think you guys get the idea. You know, don't let that affect your life. I think that's the main thing. It's not that you don't care, you do care, but at certain point, right? Gets to a point where you say, okay, that's affecting what I'm doing, so I'm sorry, but like, thank you, but no thank you. Right? Not doing that just because makes you feel better, right? Animator, first thing, make a cartoon. Maybe instead of just saying animator, maybe you need to be more descriptive, right? Ploppy, welcome to the stream. Maybe you do, like, you say I'm doing 3D animations, right? Because I can see people thinking, you know, that animator would be like a cartoon type of thing. What am I doing here? Go to definition. Return to all players. On request received. What am I using this for? Return to player. Look at this. This was a different type of refactor that I was doing. Oh boy. Oh lord. There's 3 different... I'm handling this thing 3 different ways. And there's a switch here. Holy macaroni. I think the difference between this one and the other one, the difference between this one is that right here I'm going through, grabbing all the inventories, going through them, and then I'm calling, I have the net inventory here, so I'm calling the update on the inventory itself. The difference with this one, I didn't have to look for the inventory, I was just firing the event. I think I'm gonna use this method, but then with the new thing, instead of using the CRUD, we're gonna have different methods, but in the method I would be calling the event. Let me see here. Let me see. On request received, message index. I want to see if I have that inside a public handler. If I do, that means that I'm using that for something. And then we need to stop the madness. Message index. Send client response, 0 references. So that's gone. Jesus. When we finish this script is going to be like 200 lines of code. Do you want to bet with me? No matter what you call 3D animation, or even game design, the answer is always the same. Yeah, that's weird, man. I can see if you say like, oh, I'm animator, right? But that's weird. And one thing that doesn't help the situation is that depending the company that you're working for, they call it designer. Another company they call animator. Another company for like a programmers, they call programmers, they call developers, they call back-end engineer, they call front-end engineer. And then what is a designer? Is a designer like in a web world would be a front-end person or a back-end person. In a game, a designer, it could be a feature designer, could like they don't have a specific names, they just call it, you know, depending the company, they're gonna say a different word, and that doesn't help either, right? So we don't need this. The Yag, thanks for stopping by, Yag. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. I take it you're going to college, man. Okay, take this out. This is so much garbage in this class here that on inventory update. So literally, let me try run the game and see what happens. College, yeah. Have a good one, man. And we need to refactor this because the campfire is still using the custom properties, and we don't want that. I went out of my way to refactor everything so we could use scriptable objects, so we could have different items, right? And we're still using the custom properties for the campfires, so we need to refactor that as well. And all the code that we removed, the thing here still works. That's just crazy. Update item. If I remove, so the remove is not being called. We got it called here because of the charcoal that was being created. Man. Yeah, see, we got nothing. If we add, we got the update. If we stack, we got the update. That's weird though that the addition is being called on the update. See? That's being called as an update. Okay, so let me go here and double check. I think everything is going through go to definition. Oh, that's the toggle. Yeah, that's completely messed up. Zebra. Yeah, it's procedural, Zebra. It's procedural. I'm using, let me see here. I'm using this plugin here for now. At the moment, we have this plugin in the game. I'm probably gonna keep it. I'm just gonna have to change it later on, some things on it, but it's a pretty good plugin though. Pretty well like written. Remove that. I just want to keep that code for reference, right? Until we finish completely this area right here. Oh, you're doing a 2D, but you don't know how to handle the terrain. Yeah, that's the one that I'm using. It's pretty for 3D. It's pretty good. Just want to remove these empty lines here so I can close this. Not close. How is it? What's the word for it? I forgot. I forgot the word, guys. When you're doing this, collapsing, I want to collapse. I want to collapse and I don't want it to get weird. Collapse and expand. There we go. So when you do that, we should be able to collapse here and then the entire thing collapse. Yeah. There. Bunch of non-used code. Message indexes should be on the top. Right here. There. And am I using this for something? Nope. Let me go back to Unity here. Probably not gonna get any errors, but okay. Now okay, let's keep the only one that we are using now. This is the update. Go to definition. Okay, now we're gonna break things. No Unity crashes today. Yes, but you know something that I was thinking? I don't have the two editors going on. And I am not changing code and pushing play, changing code and pushing play, right? I'm kind of like more in the editor. And I played the game twice. I was thinking about it. but let's see when we actually start testing things here. And one thing that's interesting that I could avoid really easily the looping in messages would be something like this. So this would happen in the server, right? So the server would do this. Even if the client is firing the ad, this would not be triggered in the client. But we need to see if that would work, because in the scenario where the campfire, the items are being generated in the server, that would work fine. But let's say if you're dragging an item in the client, that should trigger a request to the server. So there's that. The video I show first was my room, and second for my game Gas House. So the first room is actually your real room that you are in. It's not for your game. The first room was the room with the computer, right? If I am not wrong. Okay, let me add the event here. Inventory added. Let's check that one. And let's go here. And a nice chair. Okay. So when we add this is what I'm gonna do. I was doing this inside the event here. Okay. I'm gonna be doing something different. I'm gonna do a public handler so we can reuse this same thing from the public handler. So the event would be calling the method, but we would have the method available in the manager in case we need to call it directly without the event, right? So let's do that. Event handlers, network handlers. These would be, this is the network handlers, public methods. So let's start the new methods up here. And guys, we need to finish this soon, because otherwise gets in the point that I don't remember where I stopped if we don't finish this. So let's do here public void. We're gonna do add item to. The only problem with this is we are not actually adding the item to the inventory. So how could I call this method? So let's do network how could I call it? Inform. I'm just gonna keep network. Let me add a note here. This method should do something else. It's just network client it's not oops it's not right. So we are doing that. Let's copy this from here and where is the message? So right here I was asking for a message. I don't really want to ask for a message. I want to create the message in there. So let me copy this one right here. This would be a better example. There. And the message that we are looking for is that new message that we created. This one right here. So bam and bam. I don't care about that. See, those booleans, they drive me insane. I don't know if you guys saw it, but where was it? Like this one. If state false, we are closing the UI. At least I added a really small note in there. Okay. So what's the info that we need for this message? We need those things. So to begin with, we do message dot is server response equals to false. That's probably coming from a client, because we can toggle just by changing this boolean here. We can toggle to run this in the server side or to run this in the client side. If we wanted this to run only in the client side, we set this to true, but that's not actually the purpose of that boolean. So, and then let's do uint object ID message dot object ID equals object not object ID right there. And then we do string item ID is equal to that. Inventory ID. Inventory ID equals to that. Okay. Player ID. Oops. String. Message dot player ID equals to that. And now we could have an item here, a base item, and then from that item get the class type, or we could have a string, and then let's do, I'm gonna keep this string though, item class, because we need this class type, so we're gonna be able to create our scriptable object based on the right class. That's why we need that. That goes in there. And message dot item class type, like that. And now we need a handler. Do we have one? No, we don't. So let's create one here. And that would be private message index inventory add item. Let's go to this guy here, go to definition, and we probably need to remove those old indexes when we are done. So this will be used by the to add about items. Right, and network, how did I call? Network, let's do manager, because if I put the word manager, that makes more sense. It's been a while. How's the game coming? Sublime, my man, welcome to the stream. It's good, but we are refactoring the network inventory system, and that's kind of a little bit of a pain, but it's good, man. It's just going like way slower than was going before, right? But it's good. Do that, and then let's use this index in our message there. Network, so that's not a toggle, and that's the message, right? So we use that message index, and then we need to create a handler for it. That happens. Yeah. Let me do client register handler that index, and now we're going to be calling the handler that we added in the beginning. Remember that we add remove, not in the events though, the network handlers here. Remember that we add this one and we add the remove. So now we're going to start using these handlers here. So let me copy that. And now what we are doing here, we are registering that handler in the clients, right? Now we need to do the same thing, but in the server. So in the server, we do this, right? So what's going to happen is every time we get a message with this index, this handler here would be called. If we go to this handler, we have the client version of it. So this code run on the client side, right? And this code run in the server side. What actually triggers it is the is server response and is server, right? So what happens is, let's say that we just fired this event. This response here would be false. So we would actually running this piece of code here. And not an else if. Well, yeah, this is not gonna happen anyway. So we're gonna go here. The first thing we do, we set that to true, and then we send this to everybody, or we send this just for the player that we are looking for, right? And what would happen is the server will send this to the clients. The clients will be calling the same handler. So in the client side, this is the code that will be running, but when we get to the client, this is going to be true and the client would not be the server. So literally the code that would run would be the client side. So that's how we do that thingamajigger. So let me double check here our event. So there is the event of the addition of the item to the inventory. We fire that event. We have the handler here, right here. So item was added. So we add that when we enable, we remove that when we disable. And if we go to the event handler, now we need to call our public handler. And the public handler is, I don't remember, network add item to inventory, and we need to rename this to something better. So go to definition, and we are here. So then we're gonna call this thing here, and this would be 0, comma, original item ID, comma, inventory ID, comma, player ID, and item class type. Okay, this is what we need to trigger the entire thing to work. So receive the event call the public handler, the public handler go to the So that works. The public handler creates the message, and it says client send the message with the index and the message, right? And then based in our handlers here, as soon as we get that message, we will be going through this. Go to definition and inventory server add item. And then we send a message to all clients that an item was added in the server. And then the clients should receive client add item. Let me see if that works. But first, let's fix this thing here. So e dot, this is the item original ID. E dot item dot base data dot unique ID. This is the inventory ID. So e dot item dot, I guess I have the inventory here. Yeah, dot unique ID. And then e dot I need to have the player. So item dot base data dot owner unique ID, and this will be e dot dot item dot get type dot name. Yeah, so that's the name of the class. And item, because if we look at it, all the information we are getting from the base data. The only different information is here, the item, right? Because we could literally just pass the item here and grab all this information on the public handler, right? And the network ID, maybe we can do e dot inventory dot the transform get component let me see something. Yeah, I don't have that. So inventory transform dot get component network identity dot net ID dot value. So this is something that maybe we can add to our interface. So uint object ID net ID is that. Okay. Of course, we need to add a bunch of checks in here to check if this inventory is actually a networked inventory. Otherwise, let me see here. Inventory. Yeah, so see, this inventory here is the base class because we have the inventory and then we have the net inventory that extends from this interface. So at this point here, we know that's in an inventory and we have the transform for it, but this may fail, right? So what we can do is net inventory inv equals net inventory, and then we do if inv is not null. Why you're not giving me my completion in there when I need it the most? You're ruining my life. So let's do that. And then we do inv dot yeah, I don't have that, but then now we can grab that from there, right? Finish this stream. His lack of response. Did I miss? Oh no, I think I saw it before, but if I miss some of you guys chat, I'm sorry. So let's do that, guys. So we call the event, and then let's just do a else here, because if this fail, we want to know that's failing here and has nothing to do with our network. .log. This would be inv is not is our networked inventory. Save that. So we have the whole shebang here. Let's see if adding inventories now would be called. I probably, Syrian, I probably not gonna be able to finish tonight, but because we are just getting to do the addition now. So, couple of more streams, we're gonna have to finish this. I was shooting to finish tonight, but I'm not gonna be able to. Okay. At least we got no errors. Add this here. Server add item, client. What? We got the server add item. Did we fail to find this guy? Inventory. Maybe that was the issue. And let's add a debug in the client. Like that. Of course, there's no code whatsoever. We are just doing back and forward here, right? Just to see if the network would work. Oh, there we go, Syrian. There we go. See, you start, that happens when you start switching between the editor and Unity and pushing play on it. If you're doing that, at least it's what I feel, right, that's going on.
My name is
Jacob. Dude. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it.
My name is
I need to wake up. Still compiling though. Dude, thanks for the sub. 2 months. I didn't see you there. Jacob, my man, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate. Now it helps a lot. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Jacob. So, let's go back here. It was Jacob to wake me up, guys. I was almost sleeping here. Thanks for the sub, man. Let's try again. I think my guts tell me that the server is not finding. The inventory is not a networked inventory, right? Because this one right here, at this moment, it's not. So that's correct. Server add item. What? Why is the client not receiving? Who was it? Rodrigo. Rodrigo. Oh, it disappeared. Let me refresh this thing here. My thing just crashed. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Let me try reopen the thing here. I could not see your name. Hopefully that's gonna work out. Rodrigo Trolei Cavaco? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Reload. Don't close my files, please. Don't close all my files. Oh. Last time I did that, it closed all the files that I had open. Client add item. I'm thinking that maybe I have that one wrong, but no, that's how I've been doing. Failed my driving test today, so I feel pretty bummed out. Dude, don't be like. I think, well, it depends because it's sometimes it's not even you, right? Sometimes it's the instructor that's with you. Depending the instructor, some instructors they would just like, yeah, okay, go for it. But if the instructor is like, you know, pain in the butt, anything that you do wrong, they're gonna say, oh, you did that wrong. But yeah, thanks, man. Appreciated the sub. 2 months, dude. But next time you do it. At least here in USA, it was pretty easy. Like when I did my driving test here in USA, it's like not even close to the way that they do in Brazil. Dude, in Brazil, you cannot do, I don't know now, if you guys are in Brazil, please let me know. But in my time, when I did my driving in Brazil, you could not use, you had to have a manual shift. You could not do a testing with an automatic car. And it's insane, dude. Like they make this thing like this big and you need to park sideways on it. If you touch the thing, you fail. And then they take you to something that's really, really steep. They make you park in there and you need to get out without you know, spinning the wheels with a manual. And you need to park on the thing. You cannot touch the things. And when you're leaving, you cannot let the car go back, and you cannot like spin the you know, the thing. Oh, dude, that's insanity. Here was just driving around. Was easy, right? I run a red light. Oh man. But that's probably because you're like nervous, right? Normal circumstances, you would not do that. But yeah, here in USA it was not even close to the how difficult it was in Brazil though. But in Brazil, there is the difference. In Brazil, they make money with that. The more people they fail, the more money they make, right? So that's why it's so hard. Because if you fail, you need to go back, take the classes, you need to pay for the classes, and every time you go make a test, you need to pay for the test. So that's how they make money. So the harder it is, for them it's the better, because the more people failing it, the more money they make. And here it's just normal. They just want to know if you know how to drive, right? And that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, drive for me. Let me know if you drive and if you know how to drive, and then you're good to go. In Brazil, man, it's like they test you to be like a pilot. And no matter what, in Brazil, like, people drive like crazy. Even though they have all these things, people drive like crazy. Yeah, just don't get nervous, because if you get nervous, then that's, you know, when you fail. This should be... Let me add some more debug here, because I don't understand why this is not client found the find the inventory, add item, and right here I want to say server found will send message to clients. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, but you're probably gonna do it, man. Now you kind of like know, you know, what you're gonna have to go through. The second time you do it, it's gonna be easier. Do people prefer shades to park in Brazil? I guess they do. I would park in the shade, right? But here's the thing. I guess I would park anywhere if I find parking. If I can choose if I can park in the shade or not, I would park in the shade. But the first thing would be, can I even park somewhere? Because sometimes it's completely full, right? Then you don't have the option. But if I had the option to choose between shade or no shade, oh yeah, shade all the time. Shade for the win, baby. Okay, let me add that. Server phone inventory will send message to clients. What? It's time to open the second editor. Hold on tight, guys. Second editor incoming. Germans are using meaning shade Parker is to insult the... Oh, I see, I see. We use it's really weird, but in Brazil, if you're driving and someone does this for you when you're driving, they are saying that you're really bad at driving. Like, they are insulting you if they do like this. Isn't it weird? But that's not shade. For us, is like shaving, right? You know, when you're shaving. So if you're driving, someone passes you looking at you weird and does like this, he's insulting you and telling that you don't know how to drive. That's what we do. I know that's weird though, but that's what we use in there. Caliber, welcome to the stream, my man. It's good. It's going good. It's slowly but surely. It's slowly but surely. And I guess I can turn off this campfire so we don't keep receiving, you know, messages from the charcoal that's being added. Okay. Is in use? Oh, okay. So we probably close that. Huh. That was weird. We probably remove a message. That thing that we commented out, probably we comment something that was related with that UI. Okay. But let's clear these things here. Removing. The inventory is not a network inventory. Okay, we are receiving the event, but this is not a network inventory. We actually need to make this a network inventory, but it's not at this point. Just got back from the local game dev meetup. Oh, that's cool, man. Useful knowledge. Do you guys know if we have that here? We probably do. I live in San Diego, like in the north, not county San Diego, Oceanside. If you guys know a game dev meetup, let me know. I would go. If we have in this area, if you guys are from. So I know what's happening. I just saw we got the server. I know what this issue is. And this issue here is right there. That's not the index that we are looking for. Because this handler here, if we look our index on server, we are using this thing here, right? So to send the message to the server, we are using the right one, but the server is not using the right one to send to the clients. Quantum physics and computers. What I got into exactly, dude. Exactly. I would love to go to places where you have... I'm actually one of the... It probably will take a couple years because I am actually opening a company that has nothing to do with programming, but it has to do with computers. And I want to actually create a place where people that play games and developers, they would go to. We have those places in Brazil, and I never saw them here in America. So I'm gonna create a place like that here in San Diego, right, in this area. Probably will take a couple years to, but it's a really, really nice thing we have in there. I never saw here in America, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to do it and see if it works. Because sometimes it works in Brazil because of how things are in there. Maybe here could be something similar, but would have to be different. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but because of the culture, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna try it. So it's in the works. Besides of me working in the other job, and besides me doing the game development, I am doing that in the side. Me one. Yeah. If you're not, you could always start one. Yeah, that's the idea. I never heard about it, so it's going to be kind of like a meetup, but it's going to be like a place that will be always open, right? And always you would have it's kind of like it's kind of place for gamers and developers, kind of like a cafe, but not really a cafe, right? Where you would have like, uh, where you would have like LAN parties, but all the time, right? And then you have competition for any games, and you do the competition. So it's kind of like a in Brazil we used to call those places like LAN houses, right? And you would go in there to play and just nerd and that type of thing. But yeah, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I know that it works in Brazil. Those things are always like full of gamers and developers. Like anytime you would go in the morning, people will be there. You would go during the night, people will be there. You would go 3 o'clock in the morning, people will be there, right? I don't know how that works here in USA, because maybe in USA you need to close at certain point or something. You probably cannot be open, but those things, they were open like 24/7, right? There we go. Now we are talking. Now you only have to close at certain times if you sell liquor. Yeah, let's do it. No, but probably I would not have alcohol, right? Probably I would have Red Bull for sure, like, and you know, energy drinks, that type of thing. But oh yeah, let's do some vodka, guys, right now. Depending on the local laws, yeah. I guess. Because the first idea would be just go to a mall and then rent a place in there where I could set things up. But then the real idea would be to actually buy a piece of land somewhere and then have the building in that piece of land, because that's your land, right? I just, like you said, I just need to check the laws and everything. But that would be super cool. You can find 24/7 bars, yeah. The thing is that we need to be careful about is because of the noise, right? People playing games, they're gonna be screaming at each other, right? And like, there is something that is so good about it, because when you're playing these LAN houses, you're literally talking with the teams that are going to play, and then the guy that you just killed is in the other side of the room, and when you kill him, you just hear him say like, "Oh my god," and you hear like you know, so you know the guy that you just killed because the guy is like punching the table, right? It's like so rewarding, right? But like, everybody's they like, we are friends, like it's not like we are, you know, fighting with each other, but it's so rewarding. You hear the person, you know, when you're playing a game like a multiplayer, you kill it, but you don't get the punch in the table, you know what I'm saying? When you're in these places, you kill the person and you bam bam, you can hear it. Say, oh boy, there we go, now I know where you are sitting. I wish there were a gamer cafe, and you, yeah, it's kind of like a gamer cafe, right? Type of thing. I want to do it. Okay, so the addition is working. Let's keep moving. Now we're gonna do the same exact thing to remove the item. Yes, 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 yes. Let's do that. And we need to do that really fast, because I need to go sleep. Let's go here. LAN parties, esports. Yeah, it's kind of like, imagine like, you know, the esports when they are having the tournaments, Imagine something way smaller than that, but kind of with the same vibe, but with just like, I don't know, maybe like 20, 30 people, right? So everybody knows each other. And the nerds that are there, they are always there, so they know each other. It is that kind of vibe, right? Let me copy this. Network, remove. And this will be 48. Being super popular, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Imagine. I like, if I had free time, I would be in those places all day long. Right? I would not leave it if I didn't had to. Remove. Remove item. That's what we are looking for. There. To have a shared space, dev office. Yeah, you guys should do it, man. You guys should do it. It's awesome. And then we add this event. And we add this event. Let's go to the definition here. Comment all that thing. Bam. There's the thing, who will run it, yeah. Full business like restaurant. Yeah, that's kind of like what I want to do it. But I want to, because I have in my mind how it looks like and how it works, you know, kind of. But yeah, that's the thing. And you just need to figure it out, you know, who's going to run it. But I don't have any experience with that kind of thing. This is what I think normally when I want to do something and I don't have experience. I try to read about it, see what I need, see the laws, the money that I'm gonna need, because I never had a place like that, right? And I have no experience as well. But you're only gonna get the experience if you do it. So it's kind of like you learn as you go, right? Because where are you gonna get that type of experience, right? If you don't do it, you need to do it. And this one right here is going to be similar. Network. Now we need to create a remove. Generate. Let me copy this one. Yeah, but probably it's going to take me a couple of years to do it, because I don't have the money to start like that now. So I'm going to start with something different, something that's small. What I'm thinking to do is I'm going to build a place now that's going to be just for I don't know if you guys know the thing that we have in San Diego that's for custom cars. So they build custom US custom, West customs, I think they're called. Let me just copy this thing in here. 1 second, man. Server, this one right here. Let me copy that. I think is West customs. I don't know. Yeah. So is this type of thing, but what I want to do I want to do custom computers, right? It's like a weird thing. So I'm gonna be doing custom computers and doing stuff with the computers, like fixing computers, upgrading, doing like water cooling stuff. So I'm gonna start with that, right? And then when I'm making money enough that I can add to the place, then I'm gonna start with the idea that I really want to do. That's like the cafe idea, because I love computers, right? So I want to do custom computers, like custom cases, like crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. But this is how I'm gonna start with, right? I'm gonna be fixing the computers, and then when I get money enough with that, I can grow the business towards the thing that I want. That's the cafe part. And then you have everything together. You have games, you have computers, you have programmers, all together. To get a loan, a lot of licenses and such. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't believe. Why is that? Why is that complaining about my thing here? I don't believe on loans, though. I know that some people get loans, they start businesses, and that works fine, right? But I rather start like very, very small, and with the money that the business is giving to me, with whatever is left after I make money enough to live and, you know, to eat and buy food, and whatever is left, I would use that money to do the other things, right? Because the way that I think is like this: if I make a loan and my business doesn't grow, or it doesn't go where I'm thinking that it would go, I still have the loan that I have to pay, right? And if I don't have the loan, I can start very small. And if my business goes towards what I think it would go, then I would make money, and then I would, you know, do what I want. The difference is, if you want to wait for all that to happen, or if you want to, oh, I want my business now, I need a loan and everything needs to be done now, then you go for the loan. Me personally, I would go for a loan, but then you could run into an issue where the business doesn't go the way that you thought it would go, and you still have the loan to pay. I kind of prefer wait and say, if the business does well, I'm gonna have money to invest in the growth, right? But some people, they would go with the loan, and that's fine. It's just a different way of viewing it, right? Save up to that kind of startup. Yeah. Game mechanics so far. Yeah, for sure. Cameron, send over, man. Could probably get some Kickstarter for that idea. Yeah, for sure. Unity coder. Yeah. But then the problem with the Kickstarter is, people that would kickstart, they would have to live in that area, because it would be people that would like to go, right? But, or maybe even not a Kickstarter, but maybe like a Patreon. And then you can spread the idea in your area and tell people, hey dude, if you want to help out, go into the Patreon, right? Okay, I need the index here. Copy that. Oh, Cameron, if you want to whisper to me, just whisper to me and then I copy and paste in the chat because the link it gets deleted, if you don't mind doing that. I don't see the link. My chat just deletes it. If you whisper to me, I'll be able to see it. Rob, thanks for the follow, man. Problem is to rent a place. Yeah, so here's my plan, guys. I'm gonna start doing it from my house, right? This is what I'm gonna do. And then when it's gonna be really, really slow. That's why I'm telling you, it's gonna take a couple years until I get there. So I'm gonna start fixing computers from my house, and then when I'm making money enough that I can rent a place, I will rent a place and goes from there. So that's how I'm gonna start. I got your link, man. Cameron. But imagine, dude, like imagine like custom computers, like custom cases and stuff. Cameron, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Let me see here. Man, this is a screaming Unity to me. You can absolutely do all these with Unity. And you can absolutely do this. I don't know if what you're going for is this kind of visuals, but you could make it even look way, way more graphical appealing if you want to. But it's like definitely possible. Yep, you can do all that. For sure, man. Let me see if there's something different here. Yeah, you can definitely do this game on Unity, man. Not even think about it. For sure. Yeah, you can have those mechanics. That's for sure. Yeah, the links they get removed for me, Caliber. I didn't get, maybe the desktop app is different, but I have just the little, this is what I have here, right? Just the Twitch thing. And if I go back, where was it? See, this is what I see, deleted link. I don't see anything. That's how I see my chat. Because I have like bad words and everything to be deleted. So it just deletes it. I don't even see it. Yeah, Cameron, no problem, man. More or less efficient. Yeah, I think, Cameron, is that going to be networked? Because depending how much you want to go in on in the screen, and the most difficult thing would be the network implementation, right? I would imagine that you wanted that to be a multiplayer. The most challenging would be the network. You need to make that very, very efficient. And that goes for any engine. That goes for an Unreal, that goes for Unity. That will be, no matter the engine you use, you need to make that really well, efficient, right? But yeah, remove. So you're calling that operation. And we need to change the index here. Okay, so that's what I was going for here. Remove. Have you ever heard Game Maker, Game Engine? Yes, I did. Possible network hard? Yeah, possible, yes, for sure. Yeah, I don't have experience with Game Maker. If any of you guys in the chat have experience with Game Maker, but I know that people make games with that engine. I don't know how much can you push it for something that uses network like that. So I'm not sure. But yeah, I heard about it. Never used though. Remove. So remove that. Yeah, Cameron, go with Unity, man. You're not gonna regret. Or maybe you will. Right? Or maybe you will. But if it was me right now in your place, with the experience that I have now, I would go with Unity. I would not think twice. Do I have the handler here already or no? No, we don't. So let's do client handler. And let's do on item. Right. Copy, paste. There. Let's take a look in this guy here. Okay, so now we should be able to receive the remove as well if we did everything correctly. Is to upgrade alone. Yeah, me personally, like, the difference that I see between Unreal and Unity in terms of the games you can make and things, yeah, Unreal, it comes with shaders that are awesome out of the box, right? That's one. The downside of it is that you need really a good computer to develop with. At least in my experience, you need a really good computer to develop with Unreal, because it's taxing on the computer because of the graphics. The shaders are so good. Unity, it doesn't have really good shaders out of the box, but you can write a game in any laptop and Unity would be running, right? But if you want to make better shaders and things, you can. The problem is you need to do it yourself, and you get that for free with Unreal. And that goes for games too. I never saw a game made in Unreal that would run in like lower hardware, right? It probably they have games, but most of the games that are made with Unreal, you need to have a beefed up computer. Like Arc, you need to run Arc, you had to have a huge computer to run, and that's the mainly difference when you're starting. With Unity, you can just run in any computer, and yeah, you're gonna have to write your own shaders later on the road, but then you're gonna need better computer to run your games as well. The other thing that I feel that's different, but this is just personal opinion, my opinion, you know, about the engines, is Unreal, the way that I see it, it's really awesome to work in a huge team. If you have, I don't know, 10, 20 programmers working, the engine kind of helps you to have everything organized to work in multiple people working in one project. In Unity, it's really easy for one person to get things running pretty quick. That's how I see it, my personal opinion, right? So take with a 20 kilograms bag of salt. But like I said, if you want your game to look amazing in Unity, you just need to have really good 3D models, really good textures, like artists to do your textures, and you need to have a person that really knows how to work with shaders. You can get a game that looks awesome. Right. I want to give the new. Can run and enjoy, yeah. So yeah, man, go with Unity, you know. I think you're gonna be happy with that. Remove. Server remove item. Okay, so what happens is the server removed the item from this inventory that's actually a network inventory. And when it got the event to add the item, in here it say the inventory is not a network inventory. That's what we want, Charlie Brown. On Thursday, I never used Shader Forge, but everybody says that's a really good plugin. There is by the way, guys, if you guys are not in our Discord and if you guys want to join, let me post the link here. Actually, there is an artist in there that's really good. His name, he changed his name. Let me see here. It's a giveaway in Discord, but here is on Twitch is Mystic Cities. So you guys drive me in the loop with your usernames, but he uses Shader Forge, and he said that's really good, and he's really good with 3D art and that type of thing. He likes it. So maybe if you guys have a question about Shader Forge, maybe he knows it. Okay, now let's open this. So we got the toggle, that's good. If we remove this from here, damn. And are we messed up our indexes again? Probably, because we got in the server, so we probably got our index messed up. Yep. Remove item. We need to update this thing here. Let me add an error in there so I know which line I need to go back to. And this is the index we are looking for. There. So what we did tonight was adding the handler for the add and adding the handler for the remove. We're gonna keep the update so far, and the update will handle when we stack the items as well. So there's 4 handlers we need. We need the UI toggle when we close the UI and when we reopen the UI. We need the addition of an item, we need the removal, and the update. If the update works the way that I'm thinking that will, when we stack items, we don't even need to have the handler for the stack, just when the item is updated. And we have empty methods here. The server is not doing anything at this point, but at least today we laid the ground for what we need, and then tomorrow, from this huge garbage piece of code here, we're gonna take a look what we were doing here, and then we're gonna start implementing those, but in different methods, right? So now it should work in the client and in the server here. Want a cool keyboard shortcut for Visual Studio? No way. Is real. I'm gonna press it. It doesn't do anything. It didn't do anything. Do you need to set up that? When the last did stuff. Control plus. Oh, I see. The shortcuts for a Visual Studio itself. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I need to start using those. Because the guys always tell me, oh, do this, is gonna make your life easier. I'm learning, you know, little by little, I'm learning all the shortcuts on Visual Studio. But yeah, I know. I need to get used to it. Okay. Let's see if this would work. Okay. Now, if we remove server remove item and client remove item, because we have the server and client here, and then here we are receiving that message again. So here is the thing. Tomorrow we could try, because now I'm sending. So what happens is, let me go to the add here, right? Let me clear that, and let's add something to the inventory. Bam. So the server gets that, the server finds it, and the server send the message to the clients here, and then the client get the information here. But this client is also getting the information again, right? What we could do is say, okay, send the message back, but not for us, because I know about this item here. I just dragged in here in my client. My client has that in there, right? Maybe that's one thing we can look tomorrow. Michael! What's up, my man? Not playing Destiny 2? Weird. I don't have Destiny 2. I need to wait to come for the computer, because I was just playing that day because was the PC open beta. I did not pre-order, so that was the only days that I could play. I would be playing for sure when it comes out. Hopefully we can play together when it comes out. But yeah, I think it's gonna be in the end of October, I think, when it comes out for PC. But yeah, I'm gonna be buying for PC. Okay. So yeah, this is what we're gonna be doing tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow. Because I need to go night-night. We have to wait forever. Yeah. Let me stop this. Stop this craziness. Save scenes. Not as long as waiting for GTA 5. Yeah, guys, let me close because I need to go sleep and work, right? Until I get something going that I'm gonna be able to work less and make more money, right? But right now, I need to work my something off to make money. Let me see who's streaming tonight, so we can host someone. Who is it? KDO? No way, Charlie Brown. So yeah, we're gonna be hosting KDO, guys. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate all of you guys here. Thank you so much. And all the subs. Thank you, everybody. Jacob, appreciate it, man. And I see you guys tomorrow. Love you all, guys. Be safe. I'm gonna play one more song and then I'm gonna be hosting KDO, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.